The Democratic Party is facing a crisis that is shaking the very foundation of American politics. With public favorability at historic lows, internal leadership battles, and a Republican Party seemingly surging under former President Donald Trump's influence, Democrats find themselves at a dangerous crossroads. The pressing question is whether the party can find a unifying voice and a winning strategy before the next election cycle, or if it will continue its downward spiral. This reality was clearly illustrated in a recent political commentary segment featuring Dana Perino and Bill Hemmer, with reporting from Aisha Hasni and insights from former Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips. The scene unfolded against the backdrop of a turbulent weekend on Capitol Hill, where Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's decision to support a Republican spending bill sparked fierce backlash from the party's left wing and deepened existing fractures within the Democratic ranks. Schumer's move, intended to prevent a government shutdown, instead made him a target of criticism. Far-left Democrats called for his resignation, accusing him of betraying the party's progressive base. Meanwhile, figures like Senator Chris Murphy, who is seen as a potential successor, publicly supported Schumer but warned that the party's strategy must urgently change. The discord was palpable, with House Democrats even urging Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to challenge Schumer's leadership, a suggestion that ignited heated debate about the party's direction and leadership. Adding to the party's woes, polling data painted a grim picture for Democrats. According to NBC and CNN polls, the party's favorability ratings have dropped to historic lows, with only 27% and 29% of respondents viewing the party favorably. This unprecedented decline reflects widespread voter dissatisfaction and a growing perception that the party lacks clear leadership and a coherent message. The polls also revealed a significant shift in public sentiment about the country's direction, from just 27% of Americans believing the nation was on the right track 5 months ago to 44% today. This shift is largely attributed to President Trump's policies, which have resonated with a substantial portion of the electorate. Trump's approval ratings have reached record highs in several key areas, including immigration, where 56% of respondents approve of his approach despite his hardline stance on building a border wall and deportations. His personal favorability and approval ratings on spending cuts have also surged, underscoring the Republican Party's current momentum. This political environment has left Democrats scrambling to respond, often appearing reactive rather than proactive. The commentary highlighted the tension within the Democratic Party between its progressive base, which demands a combative stance on issues like transgender rights in sports and anti-Israel protests, and the broader electorate, which tends to be more moderate. This divide poses a strategic dilemma. Fight hard to energize the base and risk alienating swing voters, or moderate the message and risk losing core supporters. Former Congressman Dean Phillips offered a sobering, yet hopeful perspective. He acknowledged the party's dire situation, but reminded viewers that political fortunes often swing, like a pendulum. He pointed to the Republican Party's own struggles in 2013, when their approval ratings were even lower than the Democrats' current numbers, followed by a sweeping victory in the 2014 midterms. Phillips emphasized that much of the current discontent comes from Democrats themselves, frustrated with their party's direction, and that Americans overall are disappointed with both major parties. The discussion also touched on the absence of a clear Democratic leader who can unite the party and appeal to a broad coalition. Unlike the 2008 election cycle, when Barack Obama emerged as a transformative figure after a competitive primary, the 2024 cycle lacked such a contest, leaving the party rudderless. Gavin Newsom was mentioned as a potential future leader, but skepticism remains about his ability to bridge the party's divides and energize voters. Media Democrats and party insiders criticized Schumer for poor communication and misreading the political climate, especially after blindsiding House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries with a spending bill decision. Protests against Schumer have come from the left, highlighting the deep ideological rifts within the party. Calls for generational change and fresh ideas are growing louder, with many arguing that Schumer has been in leadership too long and that new perspectives are desperately needed. The segment concluded with a reflection on the broader political landscape. A country deeply divided, with a large independent voter base dissatisfied with the two-party system. Democrats face the daunting task of rebuilding trust, clarifying their message, and finding leadership that can unite progressives and moderates alike. Meanwhile, Republicans, buoyed by Trump's popularity and a clear agenda, appear poised to maintain their advantage, at least for now. In summary, the Democratic Party's current crisis is multifaceted. It includes leadership struggles and calls for change at the top, historic lows in public favorability and voter confidence, internal ideological divides between progressives and moderates, Republican gains fueled by Trump's policies and messaging, and a lack of a unifying figure to rally the party and the electorate. The coming months will be critical. The Democrats must decide whether to double down on their current path or reinvent themselves to meet the challenges ahead. Without decisive action, the party risks further decline, and the American political landscape will continue to shift in ways that could reshape the nation for years to come.